Hi everybody, this is your announcement for Philosophy 101G, Introduction to the Art of Wondering for September 17th, 2018. All right, happy Monday. So we are currently in Module 2.2, which is where we were last week as well. And so last week I wanted you to focus on doing all of the reading and watching my video commentaries for Rene Descartes' meditations. So by now, you should have done all of that. You should have read the meditations, Meditation 1 and part of Meditation 2, and also have watched my video commentary and read my notes and done all of that work. So now we focus in on your project. Okay, so I'm going into my computer here. So we're going to look at what we're doing this week specifically as far as producing your project. Okay, so what I'm talking about here is the Module 2.2 exercise and discussion. Okay, and I talked about this last week. I showed you some examples. You're going to be creating a presentation, a visual presentation in which you interpret a section of the meditations, and I have assigned to you the section that you're to focus your presentation on. Okay, so it's going to be very critical that you follow all of the instructions. So you'll want to go into the Descartes Module 2.2 Descartes Learning Activities and Assessments page and look at, and you should be familiar with all of this by now because I trust that you have done the reading and watched my video and you're familiar with all of this, and you should have also have taken the self-check quiz last week as well. Okay, so this week the exercise and discussion on that page of learning activities and assessments, I have linked out to pages that have the instructions. So there are 3 pages of instructions for this project. It's, like I said, it's critical that you read each page carefully. Okay, so so there's 3 parts. You want to look at each part. The first part just gives you an introduction to the project. Okay, kind of tells you what it is we're going to be doing. And then the second page is more detailed instructions, and this one you really want to focus on. Okay, so on this page you'll find out which part of the text you have been assigned to interpret, and it's really simple. It just goes by the your last name. Okay, so whatever letter your last name begins with, that determines which part of the text I've assigned to you. Okay, so when you look at this, it's Module 2.2 Exercise Instructions Part 2. Your, like letters A through E, your text section is number 1. F through J, you have text section number 2. And so what I've done is, when you click on those text section number 1, it's a page where I actually have typed out the text that I want you to focus on. Okay, so you don't have to go back into the reading that's online. I've just made this into a page for you to see. All right, so that's how that works. If there's any questions about that, contact me ASAP, okay, so I can clarify for you. All right, and then after that you have your specific instructions of how to make this presentation. Okay, so like I said last week, it can be a PowerPoint presentation, it can be even a short video, 5 minutes or less though, otherwise Canvas doesn't like it. Or you can create a collage or do a hand drawing, but if you do that, you have to take a clear picture of it, clear photo. You've got to upload that into Canvas, and I have to be able to open your file, and I have to be able to see everything clearly in the photograph. Okay, if that doesn't happen, I cannot grade your assignment. Okay, and same thing for a collage. Okay, so you upload a photo of that, it's got to be clear. I need to be able to open the file. And actually everyone needs to be able to open the file because we're going to share these. All right, so read those instructions. I did add something to instruction page number 2, and that is for all presentations, you must include citations for the images that you use. Okay, so you need to tell me, where did you retrieve that image from? You've got to give credit to where that image came from. And I know a lot of people just do Google and find images through Google. So you have to get the proper attribution there, okay? So that's very important. And you should use MLA style. And if you are unfamiliar with MLA style, there's lots of, go to Purdue OWL, and it's real easy instructions that you can use for that, okay? So that's new, I just added that in this morning. Okay, so you must have citations for your images. Okay, so continuing on with this, so what you're going to do in this assignment, okay, there's 3 things you're going to do. So hopefully this is all making sense. So you are going to write a summary of your text that you've assigned. So you're going to paraphrase what the text is saying. That is your piece of the meditations that I've assigned to you. You're going to submit your presentation, your PowerPoint presentation or collage or whatever you decide to do. And then there are discussion questions as well that you must respond to. Okay, so your summary, your presentation, and your first discussion responses you need to post on September 21st or no later than September 21st, just like any other discussion that we do. And then the final due date is September 23rd. All right, so that's what's going on for the presentation, okay, for this exercise, excuse me, exercise and discussion for Module 2.2. All right, so if you have any questions about any of that, contact me. When you read the instructions, it will make sense, so please read those instructions carefully. All right, you also have a journal that will be due on Sunday, September 23rd. All right, so one thing about journals I noticed the last time I was grading journals is that self-reflection is a hard thing to do. And so when I talk about that you need to have self-reflection, what I mean is that in your journal, talk about how this text applies to your own life and your own experiences. Okay, so sometimes people talk in very general terms and say, well, this will be, right opinion is useful for people in their lives because of this. Okay, that's nice, but it doesn't apply to you personally. Okay, so that's what I'm getting at here when I talk about self-reflection. So try to do that in this coming journal. All right, try to be reflective about how do these ideas of radical doubt, of the mind being separate from the body, or I mean the mind. Okay, how does that apply to your own life? Okay, so I hope I can see more of that in your journals. Okay, that's what's happening this week. It's a lot. I know this is a busy week for us. You have a lot of work to do. I'm really looking forward to seeing your presentations. They're always really interesting, and students are just really creative, and so it's always cool. If you have any questions about the instructions, read them through carefully first, and if you have questions, write them and send them to me in the inbox so that I can help you. Okay, the sooner you do that, the better. And not to forget, you have to get all this in by Friday. Okay, that's 48 hours before the final due date. All right? Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good week. Bye.